Call to order, Board of Zoning Appeals for Monday, May 22nd, 2023. First item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the May 8th, 2023 meeting.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. King, second by Mr. Moll. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. That motion carries 5-0. Any special requests or continuances that are not on the agenda?
None today.
Perfect. Move to findings of fact, BZA 2023-016, a development standards variance for Stephen Calso on behalf of Eli Lilly.
Chairman, in consideration of the statutory criteria, I move that we adopt the written findings of fact as presented, incorporating the evidence submitted into the record as a final decision and final action for variance petition number BZA 2023-016.
Motion by Mr. Peters, second by Mr. Moll. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. That motion carries 5-0. Next is BZA 2023-017, development standards variance for James Coop for 1387 West Stones Crossing Road.
Mr. Chairman, in consideration of the statutory criteria, I move that we adopt the written findings of fact as presented, incorporating the evidence submitted to the record as our final decision and final action for variance petition number BZA 2023-017.
Motion by Mr. Moll, second by Mrs. Peters. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. That motion carries 5-0. BZA 2023-018, a development standards variance for Eric Prime on behalf of Antilogy for 5867 North State Road 135.
Mr. Chairman, in consideration of the statutory criteria, I move that we adopt the written findings of fact as presented, incorporating the evidence submitted into the record as our final decision and final action for variance petition number BZA 2023-018.
Motion by Mr. Moll, second by Mr. Milborn. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. That motion carries 5-0. We have no old business for tonight. Any old business from the floor? Seeing none, we'll move on to new business. BZA 2023-019, a development standards variance for 1140 North State Road 135. Petitioner Andrew Kastner on behalf of Mashcraft Brewing. There are three sections of relief that they're requesting. Number one is accessory structures, to allow more than three structures on a accessory structures on a property. Number two is to eliminate the requirement for a 36-inch wainscot of mortared masonry for accessory structures over 300 square feet. And number three is to allow an accessory structure in a front yard. All those wishing to present, please stand. Before we swear you in, are all the notices and receipts and everything in order?
Yep, they're in order and in our file.
Okay.
And I would move to admit the copy of the Unified Building Ordinance.
Thank you very much. All right. Be sworn in by our secretary.
Do you swear on testimony back to the history of the best knowledge?
And then if you want to approach the podium and put there the name and address for the record.
Is that personal address or business?
I don't think it matters to us, just that we have one.
Andrew Kastner, representative from Mashcraft Brewing, 1140 North State Road 135, Suite M as in Mary, Greenwood, Indiana 46142.
Thank you, Mr. Kastner. Tell us why you're here.
We've had an opportunity since 2020. We expanded with the pandemic and put out some temporary seating out front of the building with the permission of landlord, city, and also the ownership group, and HEC. And since then, it's been a large hit. So we want to build a structure that covers it to be able to get some relief from the sun and also some inclement weather if it starts raining while diners are eating.
Okay. And there are three, as we talked about, three different variances you are seeking, but I understand looking through the staff report that your answers to these detailed statement of reasons are the same for all three.
Yeah, most of it makes sense to have the same answers. We're applying for the same things consistently across, but the variances are all minor and result in the same answers.
Okay. And do you have a copy of your answers with you?
I do.
Because we will go through and read them into the record tonight. So number one, the approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community because?
This project will be a property improvement and a safe structure. We've gone through a footer diagram with an architect to establish what we need to do to mount it into the pavement and proper footer concrete as well. So there's no chance of, sorry, I shouldn't say no. We've covered the bases to make sure that we've covered this properly for safety and for appearance.
Very nice. Number two, the use and value of the area adjacent to the property, including the variance, will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner because
This addition will actually improve the facade of the building, leading to increased value and visual appeal. The building's facade's a little bit outdated. This will be, fresh, dark wood. It should add a nice element to the front.
Number three, the strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property because
The strict application of this code would be excessive given the small scope of the project. It's less than 300 square feet and doesn't include any walls. It's a moderately translucent roof, but also this will be a project to improve Mashcraft for the future as we provide a place for the community to gather and grow greater tourism.
Okay, and then number four, the structure is not regulated under Indiana Code 8-21-10-3 for hazard air navigation. Any other comments before I ask staff for their input?
So I think we've covered a lot of it.
Mr. Nelson?
So staff, as our staff report indicates, is favorable of all three of these variances. One of the variances is for the location. It is not practical for them to have seating in the back. It's a very narrow area right next to residential homes, and it's where the dumpsters are stored. This will be an improvement to the building. Originally, they were going to attach it to the building, which would be allowed. However, that triggers a lot of requirements with the building code and building safety that are, we felt are unnecessary hardship that's creating this accessory structure to be located in the front yard. But if you're looking at it, it will basically appear to be an extension of the building and the seating area. We really had no concerns with the petitioner's statement of reasons. And we did have one commitment though, that it follows the site plan as depicted in Exhibit C and Exhibit D.
Very good. All right, anything else to add? Let's close the public hearing.
Nope.
All right, close the public hearing. Turn it over to the board. Mr. Milborn,
Yes, sir.
any questions?
No, not this.
Okay, Mr. Moore?
Nope.
Mr. King? No. Ms. Peters?
I just want to clarify for myself, Exhibit D, that is just an example of someplace else, right? It
Is it
doesn't
the
look like
picture?
your location.
Is it the picture that has the labels on it with the
Yes.
different construction materials? Yeah, we provided that to show the solid construction. That was constructed at our Fisher's location.
Okay,
by the
it
same
didn't
builder.
match up with what I remembered the building looking like there, and I'm like, wait a minute here.
But upon building, this will be
Very simple.
virtually identical. Obviously, it's got to be an L shape instead of a flat wall. So we'll do some other things in that L to compensate for that.
And that plastic roofing, that's with the little valleys there for the water to run off. Since it's
Yeah, it'll be on a
guttering.
slight grade, so the water will run forward, but it's 90% opaque, so some sun can get in, but it'll give shade relief to the folks sitting there.
Okay, I think I have a visual now. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I have no questions. I agree that with staff that all the criteria seems to be in order. So, with that, I will take a motion to admit all the evidence into the record.
Chairman, I move that we admit all the evidence presented in regard to this matter, including the notices, receipts, maps, photographs, written documents, petitioner's application and attachments, petitioner's detailed statement of reasons, the staff report prepared by the planning department, certified copies of the Unified Development Ordinance and Comprehensive Plan, testimony of the petitioner, city planning staff, and any remonstrators, and all other exhibits presented, be they oral or written, for consideration by this board in regard to this petition, and to include the testimony of those present this evening.
Motion by Mrs. Peters, second by Mr. Knoll. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. That motion carries 5-0. I'll take a motion on the document itself. And this will be request number one, which is the more than 3 accessory structures on a property.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve request number one with the condition that all final plans shall substantially conform to the site plan depicted in Exhibit C and pergola rendering depicted in Exhibit D.
Motion by Mr. Mole to approve, second by Mr. King to approve, second by Mr. Mole with the one condition on the staff report. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. That motion carries 5-0. Request number 2 is to remove the requirement for a 36-inch wainscot and mortar masonry for accessory structures over 300 square feet.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve this request with the stated condition.
Motion to approve with the same condition, second by Mr. Milborn. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. That motion carries 5-0. And number 3 is to allow an accessory structure in the front yard.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the request with the stated condition.
Motion by Mr. King, second by Mr. Mole with the same condition. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. That motion carries 5-0.
I have one comment that the condition under request number 2, that's not correct.
It is on the first one, not the second, number 2.
Okay, and I marked out the first one. Not- okay.
So, yeah, let's just. It's the first, number 2, your condition is correct. If you use the second number 2 that was on the ballot, it is not a correct condition. Please make sure you modify that. Okay, I'll take a motion to direct the corporation's council to draft written findings of fact.
Mr. Chairman, having considered the statutory criteria, I move that we direct the corporation's council office to draft written findings of fact regarding our decision on the variance request presented in variance petition number BZA 2023-019. Said findings specifically incorporate the staff report and evidence submitted to record for consideration and adoption by the Board of Zoning Appeals as our final decision and final action regarding this petition in our next meeting.
Motion by Mr. Mole, second by Mr. King. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. That motion carries 5-0. Any new business from the floor? Seeing none. Any announcements? Oh, thank you. I'm sorry. You are good. You're good to move ahead. We will take action, final action on June 12th, but you can move forward and work with the staff.
I do have one question on the second variance. There was a motion by Mr. King and second by
Mr. Mole.
Mr. Mole. Okay. Perfect. 3 in a row. There's no new announcements. We do have agenda for a busy agenda for our next meeting. That is the meeting that racetrack was continued to, as well as some new petitions that have come through. So
To,
enjoy the short meeting today.
are we confident that that will finally be heard that day?
They are coming forward with it. They do plan on reopening the public hearing, and they are working on getting their notices to reopen the use variance. The dimensional variance has been continued and has not actually had a public hearing yet. That one is still okay, since each meeting they've stated that it's being continued. From everything, it sounds like they are going to be here in person and ready to present on that date. And it sounds like BZA members, you can confirm that everyone will be there to quote on it.
Except for Mr. Mole.
I will be, I'm
Okay.
sorry.
I will,
I know, I was trying to plan my thing out. Let's hope it'll be the night or the.
You're by Zoom.
I am not a good
Oh,
job
that's
on
hot.
Zoom. Cause it'll be interesting.
So do we have enough time for everything that's on the agenda? I guess my question per the discussion at the beginning of the year regarding agenda planning.
I mean, it's a little bit out of our, we could try our best. We'll try to be concise. We try to communicate with petitioners on timeliness. We are trying to limit it. With that being said, I think, how far out are we?
We're into July.
We're into July right now, so if we start to bump, we're not just bumping them to the next meeting.
Create a problem further down the road.
It's a ripple effect, so really with this being continued and continued on, it happened fall, not on this meeting, which would have been nice, but next week when we already had a few items, so. were two similar ones. I think we'll be able to get through it.
Fair enough.
I believe in you guys.
Any other announcements, Mr. Foster?
None from legal.
All right, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We are adjourned. Stop the recording. Thank you all.